Now, as I said to you in the last session, it's all about motivation. It's all about activity. It's all about talking to people. And this will form the foundation for your success. And it will form the foundation for your life success, because the better you become as a communicator, the more confident you become, the more creative you are with your answers and your questions and the way that you start to approach things. And the bigger the smile that you start to wear on your face, the more people are going to be attracted to you, because it's called an energetic field. Now, when we're looking to work with people, and we are quite hard with our recruitment, is really because, and this is blunt to you, it's because we want people to be in a certain energetic frequency, and this is highly positive. If someone's of a negative energetic frequency, they're not going to succeed in inspiring anybody, because just as a field level, regardless of what they say, regardless of what they do, the person that they're talking to is on some unconscious level going to pick up that negative field. So you've got to start to look at yourself and question yourself and ask yourself, are you in a positive mindset? Are you not just in a can-do achievement mindset, but are you of a positive energetic field? When we talk to you as trainers and people working on this program, do you bring with you solutions, not problems? Do you bring with you creativity, a smile? Do you bring with you a cheery look, a happy hello? Do you bring with you the sense of human kindness and the ability to co-create with other people? Do you bring that with you? Or are you somebody that rocks up and expects the world to owe you a favour, that other people should do things for you? Or do you carry a chip on your shoulder that maybe you've been put down and people have put you down and you're expecting other people to put you down? Or do you feel that your ego means that you've got something called illusory superiority, which means that you think you're fantastic already and that, everybody else is beneath you in some way? These are the challenges that you've got to face, because each one of these challenges will cause you not to make as much money as you want in life. They will undermine your success because you won't be able to resonate with other people and certainly won't be able to empathize with them. So you've got to start seriously looking at yourself in the mirror, not from when we started off on the basics where you look at your look, but now feel your energy and try to be realistic with this. Try to notice whether other people enjoy your company. It doesn't mean that you can't piss them off. It doesn't mean that you can't take the piss. It doesn't mean that you can't annoy people. I do all the time. But in the greater plan of things, people want to be around me as an individual because I can get them to the next level, and they believe that that's the case. And my freedom of spirit, my freedom of ability, and my humility, and sometimes self-deprecation in a lot of ways, makes me more accessible. Because if I was just to be an ego, then that would come forward all the time. I would be ego bound and I would be protected by this shell that would not allow me to step into your shoes and empathize with your difficulties. Because I know I've been where you are right now. When I was starting out roles, when I was in my early career, in my early 20s, I wanted to be successful, but I just didn't know how. And people didn't give me the structure. They just said, go and do this. And if you can't do it, well, goodbye. In other words, you've got a brief time before they would sack you. Now, within this is a personal development and business development and spiritual development program. So it's very much about your success is our success. So we're on your side. We want you to achieve. But the first person who also needs to want to achieve is you. We can't force you to be a success. And if you're carrying about with you baggage which is of a negative energetic frequency all the time, and if you're apologetic for yourself or trying to validate yourself with other people, or you care what other people think, it's just going to make it harder work for you. I'm not saying that you won't make a success, but you're just making things a little bit more sticky. You got to grease the wheels of your mind, grease the wheels of your activity. And what that requires is you practicing on a fundamental level. And that takes a little bit of effort to start with. All the effort is in the front end because you get more returns as you go, because all the spade work that you do in a role like this, all the conversations that you have, add to your wisdom bank, and you start to be able to draw on this. Once you've had 10 conversations with 10 different people about this particular subject, mental acceleration, and you start to see the limitations of people in front of you and some of the silly things that they say, then you're going to start to feel somewhat more confident. You're not feeling like you're going up to someone begging them to actually get involved in what you're suggesting. You're going there with a plan and a strategy that's going to make their lives a lot better. You're going there with good news, and you want to be able to come across like that. Now, a lot of people are going to knock you down. They're going to push you down because they don't like happy people, because they've spent their entire life being miserable, and they don't like you because you're a little bit happy. Now, that's going to be obvious. It happens all the time. It's not everybody. It's a few people. But just move on and start to build your resource. And your resource is you. Your resource is your psychology, your ability to understand different types of archetypal patterns. That means everybody has them within people. And you're going to observe this in people. I'm not going to tell you them at the moment. I want you to observe a pattern in a person. Here's a pattern. Here's a guy who's 45, and I ask him, would you like to have 10 times more creativity? What does he say? Oh, I don't know what I would do with that. I'm not sure I would want it. Okay. Now, in realistic terms, if it's, sensible, 10 times more creativity adds up to a much more powerful life. It means more solutions. It means really more freedom to go out and, manifest more in your life. But the person hasn't got a sense of what that might feel like. They're actually quite, disturbed by it. So when I say to them, well, how about you have 10 times less creativity than you have right now? They support that with the idea. Well, people who have got a mental limitation are often quite happy, a lot happier than other people. So really you've got not a great sense of doing anything. In other words, you've got a person well and truly stuck in the mud there, and it's highly likely that you'll be wasting your time actually developing that person. They could do with the help, and this particular guy was about 45 and really a senior figure in a company, but you're starting to see what would it be like to work in a company with a person that's got that kind of negative attitude. It would be demoralizing. It would drain the energy out of you. Remember that energetic field I was talking about? So you're starting to see that just in the work environment, when people are not just motivated, but they're actually negative in their polarity. And what they say doesn't make sense, because you can see that if he's saying that sort of thing, and he doesn't really care that other people view him as a bit of a dick, then he's going to be saying those sorts of things at work. And why? What are people going to think about him? But more importantly, he's going to be thinking those things in the background and not probably telling people. But that still creates a negative energetic field, a projection onto other people that they're going to sense. So when you're looking at people, start to look at not just a damning, judgmental, critical eye, but start to understand them, understand the effect that they're having on other people, and how that is a wheel that is turning in turn on them. And ultimately, it's not going to lead to a great position, because the longer you stay in a negative base in your mind and you influence people towards the negative, the more you're going to build a dynamic around you that ultimately is going to end with your being let go. I can't put it in any other way, because nobody wants someone who's a sourpuss. No one wants someone who's going to pour water on the party and always be miserable and never be involved. Everyone wants someone that has got that ability to be able to make people happy. It doesn't mean that a person can't be private, a little bit solitary, those sorts of things. It's just the field that they give off. It's the impression that they give to other people. What you'll also find with people, that there's people who are held right back because of all the things that have been said to them by the family, the teachers, and really just everybody they've met, and they're just quiet. But inside there's a burning flame. When we used to do advertising formulation of ideas, we'd have a group of people meant to wing ideas in a room. about a product, and often there'll be the ones saying loads of ideas, coming out with lots of inspiration, and there'll be those that were quite quiet, and there'll always be the quietest. And the quietest often would have the best idea, but they'd just be afraid to say it. And then that idea might come out because they were given the opportunity. They were asked by the facilitator to do so, who was a wise person, because they knew that sometimes in just something that's got lots of pressure within it because it's never spoken out, there's lots of damned wisdom. When I say damned, I'm not talking about damned. I'm talking about dammed up like a dam with water. It's all in there. And they come out with a great idea, and other people tend to want to put that person down and laugh at them. But if you play with the idea and you start to explore it and expand it and just juggle with it, then suddenly new ideas spring forth from that seed, that root. And that is what is the great thing about humankind. We have this wonderful ability, if given the chance, to create wonderful ideas. And we all had it at the age of 5 because we were all playing with lots of sort of little games and different things that we were imagining, whether we were a space cowboy or a space cowgirl or, whatever games we were playing back then. But it was all imagination. It was all Imagineering. And that is the trick of what you are going to be able to give people. You're going to give them that idea of being a 5-year-old again, that freedom, that sense of awe, that sense of the world can be my oyster and I'm going to really take up the challenge again rather than think that life is going to be a disappointment each and every day. This is how many people live. They live in this process-driven life that if they step out of the process, it's a feared, scary place that they don't want to go near. They don't want to worry about. They just want life to tick by without them being discovered. But there are those people that want to be discovered, and you are the person who is going searching. You're looking for the gold in the earth. You're like a gold miner looking for that wonderful break of light coming through, and it's in the people's minds. It's gold in their minds that you're looking to dig out. Because when you give those people an opportunity, you can say some of them are subservient, some of them are not. They're more dominant. But to a subservient person, you can say, look, you look like you deserve opportunity, and I kind of believe in you. I think there's something hidden in you. I can kind of sense it. I can feel it. And I want to give you this opportunity. So go on this workshop. It's going to be $10 to reserve your seat, or you can have a VIP where they will work with you for $25. It's normally £250, which is nearly $350. But they will give you this opportunity. And, it's of benefit to you. It's going to help you. And if it's going to help you, I want to hear what you've got to say about that. I want to hear your experience. Because if I hear that your experience is positive and great and it gets you to the next level, then I can tell the next person about that. Because that's my job. Because I'm a job to help people like you to get that new opportunity. And really, you are the harbinger, the person with opportunity in your bag. Your Father Christmas with full of a sack full of opportunities that you're out there dishing out to people. And you've got to want to do that. You've got to want to bring, the people to the water or the water to the people and turn it into wine while you're at it. So there's nothing more noble than this particular pursuit. I find it the most beautiful thing that one could ever do. It's an amazing role to be able to help people. And unfortunately, the majority of people don't want any help because it sort of ends towards their feeling of failure, what they were put down at school, that they're not worthy, that they don't deserve. All these sorts of patterns tend to rise up. But with you as the catalyst, with you as the person that's just thinking on your feet and starting to outwit a person with words, but also not manipulate them, but inspire them, be a little bit ahead of the game. Be the leader, not the sheep. As I said in the last presentation, I want you to be a leader and identify yourself as a leader in society. I want you to think of yourself maybe going up the rungs here, starting with talking to people, inspiring them. It's exactly where I started. I would talk to people about this subject. I would then talk to groups of people. I would go to networking do's. I would discuss this whole subject with people and to find out what it is that they felt about it, what was making them nervous, what was making them go away from it, when it is the future. Mental acceleration is the future. It's not really so much therapy. Therapy is working with people who have got a reaction to a corrupt society. Coaching is just tips in the current dynamic that they're working. But mental acceleration is a holistic identity change where the person suddenly realizes that there's just so much more they can do, so much more career that they can have, business, creativity. It's an amazing gift that you're giving people. And it's going to be a day, every day is going to be a joy for you, where you are going to make a considerable amount of money and you're going to start to expand. And that expansion has no limits as far as I'm concerned, only the limits that you're going to put on yourself.